New faces, new places. Everyone's popping around. It's free agent time. We got an enemy of Tony Khan's, allegedly. Jungle Boy Jack Perry showing up in New Japan. That event is still going on as we are recording this. He had a band on his thing that said Scapegoat, and he tore up his AEW contract. If nothing says rip it up. If nothing says Attitude Era, that's it. So yeah. Jungle Boy Jack Perry to New Japan. Good, bad, indifferent, scapegoat. I think he's definitely a scapegoat.
I would say he was the scapegoat. It was that way at the time. It was pretty obvious. If you listen to the story, it did what he did. Yeah, slap on the wrist worthy. Totally fired. No, that's definitely. I had to fire CM Punk because of you. That's how it feels to me, at least. I had to fire CM Punk because of you.
Tony's backstage. Like, I just wanted to book CM Punk for the rest of my life. You took this away from me.
I was going to make him the best thing we ever did.
CM Punk was not getting in his own way. You got in his way.
Second AEW legend after Sting.
You got in his way, not him. He never gets in his own way. It was you. You took away my favorite toy.
He did say in that promo to Drew McIntyre that, like, the only person who can stop me from winning the Royal Rumble is myself, and I got out of my way a long time ago. That made me laugh.
Maybe.
Because I don't believe you, Punk.
Maybe I'm a jerk who's about to get beat up by Eric Bischoff, but I don't know.
You did challenge him to a fight, so what if he does? What if he?
Dude, it would be amazing. But
you have to do it if he accepts, right?
Oh, I have to. I'd have to fight him. There's no doubt. Like, if he accepts, it's going down. I mean, it's not going to be like a street fight or anything. We could go to a dojo, make it professional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we're gentlemen here. We're not criminals. But I don't know. CM Punk, I don't know, like losing in the UFC and then going back to WWE, I just feel like let down all the time. Like, I think it's good for WWE. I think it's good for WWE fans. But for his legacy, it's like, how can you take him seriously? He's like, Drew McIntyre.
Oh, for Punk? Yeah.
Yeah, like Drew McIntyre. Like, here's the thing. Two guys left.
Everyone else bettered themselves when they left. He's the only one that came crawling back because he got in trouble in all the other places.
Yeah, like, if you see Drew McIntyre's journey, you're like, wow, what a hero. You see CM Punk's journey, you're like, oh, it's kind of rough. Kind of fucking rough. All right. I don't know. I just can't, because, like, when CM Punk was a young man before he got his ass kicked at UFC and came crawling back to WWE, I believed his words. And I'm sitting there as a fan, listening to him talk to Drew McIntyre. I'm like, Drew, just fucking break him. Just break him right now. He can't fight. He can't talk. He has no morals. He has no standards. Break him. And I don't know if that's what you want if you're the big tough guy hero.
No, I don't see him as. I think. I don't know.
Like,
I don't really think of him the same anymore. But as far as like Jack Perry, though, do you think it's a work? Do you think it's possible it's a work? They have a working relationship with New Japan.
I think it's kind of.
Doesn't it seem a little odd that he'd go to New Japan if they really had a problem with him?
Well, I don't think he's gonna go with CM Punk in WWE.
Well, yeah. But I mean, if Tony Khan really didn't like him, isn't it possible this is a work though? And
I mean, it's a possibility, but it's one of those good works. You know what I mean? It's like attitude work.
It's an interesting idea for sure.
Yeah. Like, I like the ripped up contract. I like the scapegoat. It's what we call the shoot feeb. I mean,
it'd be interesting if there were a few other people that were kayfabe jaded with Tony Khan, or who had been vocal about being jaded, that they set up, and he started his own faction in New Japan, of like sort of an outcast of his own.
Yeah.
Like, imagine like Miro going over there and being work rate with him.
Oh, that'd be great. Him and Ishii? Ooh, yeah. That shit would be awesome.
Like, you send Miro over there. Miro would look amazing in New Japan.
Yeah. Because he can really go. I know it sounds weird. A lot of people, like, that's one thing about there's between wrestling in Japan and America. You got to follow that sentence. He can really go to be over. If not, you're Finley's son, and they just stare straight ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, he can wrestle. I think Rusev could put on bangers in Japan.
So it could be a shoot fade. It could be, oh, I got an idea. Because you got to remember, when Stone Cold went to ECW and shot on WCW, it was like kayfabe, but not really. It could be one of those situations too. But Tony might be calling Mr. Ghetto. But, Ghetto? What the fuck is this? What is this? What is this? So.
That's true. I guess we'll know if he backs away from it.
Yeah.
Like, if he backs away from it after this, then maybe he did maybe there was a call and it was like, hey, we got a partnership. You can't
I feel it's a good moment. But if Tony Khan is legit offended, he could definitely use his power to have New Japan to say.
Down, probably.
Oh, yeah. Because think about it. If you're New Japan, you're like, oh, you have access to Will Ospreay, Moxley, Jericho, and the AEW roster, people that you love. Or
Omega.
Luke Perry's kid.
Brian.
Oh my God. Luke Perry's kid versus Finley's kid? Woo, that's a horrible match.
I don't know why you want to do that to Jungle Boy.
I wouldn't want to do that to Jungle Boy. I wouldn't want to do it to anything.
Who else showed up, though? I know Mercedes was in the audience with, I believe, Bailey at TNA, but they were just watching.
Yeah. I think WWE kind of screwed Bailey. Because, not Bailey, I'm sorry. Sasha Banks.
Mercedes?
Yeah, Mercedes Moné. Because they were negotiating and they're like, we're not working with her and she'll probably sign somewhere else soon. Screw her. It's like, really? I don't know. To me, that's a big FU move. You know,
she must have asked for too much or tried to get too much.
Probably, but he definitely negotiated.
Or just wasn't willing to negotiate right then.
Yeah.
Because there's there is that age-old approach to it of make your price so high that they can't possibly meet it if you just don't want to go there yet, sort of a thing.
I've done that twice in my life, and the companies both met it. No, people met it. Like
I know that's why people do it though. Is they put the crazy price of I don't want to go there, but if you're willing to pay this much, okay.
Dude,
and sometimes they do.
The crazy part is it mentally breaks you. Like I had a translation.
You're like, why the fuck did this work?
I had a translation company, and I was like, dude, I'm just gonna ask for a ton of money, and then I asked for a ton of money, and I hand them the piece of paper, and they said yes. And for the rest of my life, I was like, how much more could I have gotten?
How much more could I have been making?
Because, I just handed him his paper. Like, they won't pay this amount. I hand it over. He's like, yeah, no problem. I was like, all right, you scarred me for life. I don't know what's going on, but I am scarred for life. And
like that scene in Always Sunny when they're negotiating to be the mailroom clerks.
Yes.
They're like, what if we split it? And he's like, how's minimum wage sound? They're like, great.
All right, so Perry, hopefully you do good. And here's the thing. He's really dedicated to his craft. He's still young. He's got some fame. He's got a hot storyline. This could be good for New Japan. Hopefully he comes to Japan. And it could be good for his career. Because a lot of times, he's a little rough around the edges. But he's young and have tons of potential and tons of hype. So he could do something. And who knows, this might be New Japan and Noah have excursions where they send their young guys off. This might just be a kayfabe excursion.
An AEW excursion. That actually could be really cool.
Yeah. Either way, shoot also, or not a shoot, entertaining.
It also helps New Japan's domestic growth, which, in America, because that's the whole point of the Battle of the Valley, right? Isn't that part of their domestic?
They want that American cash, and
yeah. So as guys like Perry, it helps.
Well, A, it's the worldwide thing. B, a lot of people don't realize this unless you live here. The yen is, or an economist or an investor, but most people don't realize the yen is crashing. So if you're making that American cashola, you're banking in money. Even if you're not making as much. If someone says, "Hey, do you want me to pay you in cash or yen?" It's like, yeah, I'll take cash every time. I'll take American cash, and even the pounds. But I think the pounds act wacky. Yeah,
I don't have a place to use.
Dude, let me tell you, dude. When I have to pay,
I'm in America.
When I have to pay an American and I pay them in yen, it hurts my heart every time. I'm like, I sent them $6. How is this half my yen?
I can tell it hurts you.
It does.
So
I said to Raccoon at least $3, but it comes out to, I'm being sarcastic here, 827 billion yen. Yeah, it's like, all right, good. I don't even know what the hell's going on. What are you doing over there?
The island of Tokyo.
And speaking of new faces, new places, Dolph Ziggler. Is it Nick Nemeth or is Nick Nemeth his brother?
No, it's Nick Nemeth. It's him.
All right, so Dolph Ziggler shows up in TNA, and it was weird because he showed up in New Japan. He's going against Finlay's son, Gomenasai, and New Japan's having a big event in America, and he's like, TNA, TNA. He heard Andy Paps and Tight Spot were there, so he wanted to go. I think this is a perfect spot for him. I mean, it is weird that he didn't show up for the New Japan event, but I think it's a perfect spot, new company, and not only that, but TNA for a long time have been in bidding wars with AEW and WWE to get a star, and they just kept losing. So landing a Dolph Ziggler is huge, and hopefully he could do really well there. So, yeah.
Has Riddle landed anywhere yet?
MLW and New Japan, he's made appearances, but I don't know if they're full-time contracts.
Okay.
Tanahashi pretty much poo-pooed on him.
Oh, so, that's not good.
Yeah, which it was kayfabe. It was kayfabed, but it was kind of funny.
Well, to be fair, considering Riddle's fondness for substance, I don't know if Japan's the place for him.
Yeah, maybe not. But they did this big video package where he looks like $1 million, and he's like, I want to challenge you, Tanahashi, in a video package. And they cut back to the arena, and Tanahashi's like, I don't even know who that dude is.
No, I mean, that's fucked up. He buried him?
Yeah, he buried him like in 2 words. He's like, I don't know. I'll go watch some videos. I'll see who that guy is. I don't know who he is. So,
brutal.
Yeah, rough spot. Oh, man. So, yeah, new faces, new places. Who do you think's going to be better? All right, bring out the hammer. The hammer is now a thing. How long does it take to bring up the hammer? Am I like driving you nuts back there?
I got to go find the hammer every time.
All right, well, let's explain. Judge, Internet Infantry, it's your time to judge. Perry in New Japan or Dolph Ziggler in TNA? Who does better? Who does better, Judge?
Oh, it's definitely Ziggler.
Okay.
Ziggler anywhere is going to do better than Perry. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, David?
I don't know. I just wanted to see the hammer again. I'm going to be completely honest.
Dave. No, the hammer. I'm disappointed in you. The hammer's the judgment on you for thinking there's any world where. Listen, I like Perry. I'm high on Perry. I'm higher on Perry than most people are, I think. Mm-hmm. That said, there's no world I'm putting him in the same boat as Dolph Ziggler, who I think legitimately can carry Finlay's son to a good match.
Oh man, that would win over some fans. If Ziggler could have a good match versus Finlay's son, it would be absolutely fantastic.
Ziggler can have a good match against anyone.
I believe so. And also, there's a commenter. I apologize, I don't have it in front of me, and I'm going to paraphrase. I'll say commenter 47 down in the comments. Say, I'm commenter 47, and that's him. Someone said that, we should be a little harsher on Ziggler because he didn't go out on an adventure until he was fired. But I don't know.
No, there were reports that he requested that he actually wrote them and said he wanted to leave.
Yeah, but he re-signs. I think re-signing hurt his career a lot. I think
but at the end of the day,
he's back now.
I'm not going to give him shit though, because what was he doing in the whole when they weren't using him? What was he doing with his time? Do you know?
Do you think he handed him a piece of paper and Vince matched it?
No, seriously though, what was he doing with his time? Do you know?
He was like a stand-up comedian and an actor.
Yeah, he was doing stand-up comedy, and he was pursuing a genuine passion of his. So to him, he wasn't completely wasting his career. He was getting paid to practice another passion of his and pursue it, and getting a reasonable reason to tour around and get booked that way. Sure, did he wait maybe too long to leave? Probably. But is he still going to have some absolute bangers? I think so.
We have a Japanese word for that. Shinsuke Nakamura. Dolph Ziggler pulled a Nakamura. Yeah, Nakamura doesn't try in WWE. Look at him. He's just surfing. He's hiding in the...
Yeah, but Ziggler tries every time you put him in, though. That's when you put Ziggler in the match, he does try.
Do I have to explain the joke?
You can't deny that.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't care. No, I'm just not letting anybody poo-poo on Dolph Ziggler. I'm done with it.
Hey,
He's here to show the world.
he's show the
I
world.
like. Listen, he's a great wrestler.
He gives and by the way, my Japanese friends are practicing that promo and then following up with, and I have a match against Finley's son. You give and you give and you give, and what do you get in return? Finley's son. Do you, what?
All right, here it is.
All right.
Dolph Ziggler said he sent emails to the boss saying, I have to move on before they granted him this release.
Yeah.
So he did request this release.
He's like, hey, let me go. He's like, I'm going to let people go. And he's like, all right, I'm the first one. It does feel good. Listen, I know this is not...
I mean, they would have kept him, I think. He was a safe hand. He was reliable. He was very loyal. I don't think they would have cut him unless he asked for it.
And also, like, this is me overthinking. You know, always a dangerous pastime. Do you think he chose TNA and New Japan over AEW because if he returns to WWE, that's more understandable? It's kind of like I feel like a lot of wrestlers choose their companies they go to wisely so they don't burn bridges. Or am I overthinking?
I think he chose TNA and New Japan because they're the spots where he can make the biggest splash.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He has to know New Japan is the spot he can go to and prove that he can work with the best of them. Because if he goes to New Japan and puts on bangers, and I told you off air, I think he might want the Finley match because if he can prove he can put a great match on with Finley's son, then that is a really, really, really strong resume builder post WWE that proves, hey, I'm good. You know what I mean? That's hard to deny if you're a New Japan fan. You see that and you're like, okay, he made Finley look good. This guy's got it. And as far as TNA, if you're looking at AEW or TNA in the US, where is he going to get the most use out of? I think it's easily TNA.
Yeah. I don't know. I see your point. And also, overthinking again. He's working with his brother, and maybe his brother doesn't feel like he got a fair shake in AEW.
Oh, that's possible too.
I mean, it's possible. We're just throwing out guesses here. We have no idea, no facts, just guesses.
It could also just be who offered him the bigger truck.
Yeah, and TNA's been looking. TNA's been looking for that big star. I know that, but I feel like him in TNA he's huge star. Him in New Japan, timing wise, he's a big star.
Yeah.
Him in AEW kind of gets lost in the shuffle because they've had so many big signings. Yeah. You know, because like even though I love Dolph Ziggler, if someone says Dolph Ziggler or Will Ospreay, I pick Will Ospreay every time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting.
I think it's a really good pickup for both companies, though. I think this is a great fit for Ziggler and them.